Today, we're going to cover a relatively basic topic, but it's a topic that's come up a couple of times, so I thought I'd make a video about it. And that topic is what is the difference between ChatGPT and GPT 3.5 and GPT-4? And how do you actually use this in Make.com? Like the step by step, how do you get the API keys and how do you sort of put it into Make.com? And once you've set it all up, how much does it cost and all that sort of stuff? And then as a bonus at the end, I've got some tips for if you run an AI automation agency, how you can charge for these models and for your clients. So let's start with the basics. What is the difference between ChatGPT and GPT 3.5 and GPT-4? So ChatGPT is the application. So ChatGPT is the software application, the web application that we all interact with. Whereas GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 are the underlying models, the large language models that underlie these products. So if you're using any AI tools, there's a pretty good chance that they're also built on GPT 3.5 and GPT-4. And those tools that you're using are the applications. Those tools you're using is the same as ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is built on 3.5 and 3.5 and GPT-4, but ChatGPT is not a large language model in and of itself. That being said, a lot of these platforms will write ChatGPT as Make.com does here, and that's just because a lot of people confuse this. So they write it here just to make it easier for people to use. On the Anthropic side, it's similar. So it's a bit clearer on the Anthropic side, to be honest. So Anthropic is like the company behind it. So it's like OpenAI. Claude is their application, but their series of models is also called Claude. So the most recent series of models is called Claude 3. And there are 3 different models in that series. There's Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. So that's the split on the Anthropic side. So once we've understood that and we can explain it to our customers or clients or stakeholders, how do we actually use OpenAI or Anthropic in Make.com? So to use OpenAI, you need to drag in the block, press create connection, and they'll ask you for an API key. So this is where it differs from ChatGPT. ChatGPT, you just sort of log in and you might pay your $20 a month subscription fee and you can use it as much as you want. To use OpenAI or Anthropic in Make.com, you're using it via what's called an API or in a programmatic way. So to do that, you need an API key for OpenAI to then charge you. So to do that, you can click this link here and it'll open the API key section in OpenAI. So if you don't already have an account in OpenAI, it will prompt you to sign up. But once you've signed up and you click the link, it'll take you to this page. You'll see I have a lot here because I use a lot of different AI tools, but it will be empty when you start. And it's very easy to create a new API key. Press the create new secret key button, give it a name, maybe like make.com key, press create secret key, and it'll create a key for you. I'm not going to create another one just because I have so many already. But once you create secret key, it'll show you your secret key. It'll only show you it once. So make sure you copy it and then go straight back into make.com and then put it into the API key section. There's also an organization ID input here, which is a OpenAI functionality, and that's just to help you with tracking usage. Once that's all done, all the different OpenAI functions within make.com will become available to you. So you can create completions, you can use DALL-E, you can use Whisper to like transcribe text, generate speech, to create images, all that sort of stuff. So once you've got your API key, that will all work. Obviously, it will charge to your API key, which we'll talk about in a little bit. On the Anthropic side, it's very much the same. I've been using it a lot, so mine's already set up. But if you wanted to set up the API key, it's the same. Add a connection, go into the API key section of Anthropic, create a key, and do the same thing, copy it over into Make. And it's the same as OpenAI. If you don't have an account yet, it'll prompt you to sign up. And once you've signed up, you can create your API key. So all relatively straightforward. So next step is how you get charged for these, right? So the way these models charge is they charge on a per token basis. So these days they list their pricing in terms of price per million tokens. So this is for Claude or Anthropic. They have 3 different models. The smaller, faster models are cheaper, whereas their larger, slower models, more powerful models are a bit more expensive. So Opus, which is their best model, has an input cost of $15 per million tokens and then $75 per output token. And what this really means is it's a lot cheaper to put in a lot of context rather than getting Opus to generate a lot. And so sometimes that might influence how you prompt your AI. Now, your next question might be, what is a token? So OpenAI has a pretty good tokenizer tool. which you can sort of use to visualize what a token is. And tokens are just chunks of words, right? So I've got an example here where I've just pasted in a paragraph, and you can see that each word is basically between 1 to 3 tokens on average. And the rule of thumb here is that 100 tokens is roughly equal to 75 words. So if we go back to the Claude API pricing, 1 million tokens is $15. So that's roughly 750,000 words for $15, which is actually like a lot of words and quite cheap compared to when a lot of these models first came out. And just before we move on, I'll quickly show you the OpenAI pricing. So GPT-4 Turbo is $10 per 1 million token in, and then $30 per 1 million tokens out. So if we compare that to Claude, it's between Sonnet and Opus. And on the OpenAI side, you'll see that GPT 3.5 is significantly cheaper compared to GPT-4, which is why you'll see that in a lot of AI SaaS products, they'll put you on 3.5 instead of 4, just because 4 is too expensive for them to run. So now you understand how that works. That is something you need to keep in mind when you use OpenAI and Claude in make.com, because unlike ChatGPT, where you pay a fixed price fee, when you use these in make.com, you're using their APIs, which means you get charged for usage. So you get charged for tokens. And the way most of them work is you put in a prepaid amount. So you might put in $10, $20, $50, $100, and you can sort of use that credit as you go. And that's where a lot of a common question I get for AI automation agencies comes from, which is AI automation agencies build these automations with AI and then they give it to their customers. And then their customers use these automations. But as the agency, you have no real way to predict how often or how much your customers will use it. So you don't know how to charge for this usage. And generally the question is like, do I charge my customers for usage? And if so, how? So my advice here is yes, definitely charge for usage, because you have no idea like how much they're going to use it. And then 2 is how you're going to charge for it, right? There's a couple of options here. The first, like most straightforward option, is to get your customer to create an API key. So that sometimes works, but is a bit painful. So one, you have to explain to them what an API key is, and then you have to like walk them through the setup process, and then they have to give you the API key. And then 2 is like once they've got the API key set up and you've got your automation running, there's like a lot of overhead. They have to semi-regularly go into OpenAI or Anthropic and reload their account. Otherwise, the AI automation is going to stop working, and then they're just going to send you angry emails about how your automation doesn't work. The option I actually prefer is to use your own API key, but have some sort of tracking mechanism in place. So I generally create a new API key for each customer, or you might have some other tracking mechanisms that you use. And then at the end of each month, you sort of charge each customer for their token usage. And here you can also charge some sort of like processing fee or management fee. And that might be like a fixed price on top of the token usage, or it might be like 5, 10, 20% of the token usage as well. So yeah, that's sort of it for this video. This is sort of different to the videos I've made in the past. This is sort of more a pure knowledge video rather than a practical automation video. If you enjoyed this, please do let me know and I can make more of these. If you prefer the more practical hands-on automation videos, also leave a comment and I can make more of those too. But yeah, if you have any feedback, you have thoughts or questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll try my best to get back to you. But otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow with a new video.